anyways, and let's talk a little bit about the WAEC. I know we've not even talked about that, for quite a while now. But we noticed that WAEC has actually apologized to, the students, and they blamed it on logistic change. That's why those students wrote the exams at night. Or do you think such an apology should be taken from WAEC? How do you make young children, despite the security that we have in the country right now, you allow them go write their WAEC? Why can't you postpone it to the following day? You are mature. You can as well put your logistics together, shift the date, and fix another time. So I don't know. What do you think about that, Mazi?
I condemn it.
Obviously.
You see, I travel a lot, and I hear a lot, and I see a lot. When the issue of this WAEC came up, I for information, somebody is worrying me, is disturbing me, even up to tomorrow, to send some money. They call it pass exam, which means for each paper you pass it with 1,000 naira.
Oh wow!
Yes, all over. I beg you to say it. Parents are forced to give their children 1,000 per subject. If you are writing nice subject, 1,000 naira. I discussed it somewhere, and I don't want to mention names. It affected my own granddaughter, and I say I will not give that 5,000, especially if it has entered into public schools now. It used to be private schools, and that is why you see of them 100%. And you call those children who scored AAAA in the WAEC to come and write ordinary exam, they will fail it. So now I condemn what actually happened. But then, you see, for them to have been asked to write the exam by 10 o'clock, using torchlights, some using even ordinary native, some use their phone torchlight. So it's wrong. What actually happened? The logistics we are talking about, jump, we say glitches. This one now logistics. Does it mean that the question paper didn't get that? I had unconfirmed information that the question paper leaked somewhere. That was why they quickly withdrew that one and replaced it with another.
I was going to ask, what kind of logistics would that be?
That's another thing. Logistics, INEC said, some of them, the ballot papers, other ballot papers, other papers, other voting issues were not dispatched on time, especially because of the terrain of the locality. But this WAEC, is it today they started?
No,
it
obviously.
has been there now. Which logistics again you are talking about? Does it mean that they use Danfo to distribute the question papers as INEC used to do? Are they using the Marwa to distribute papers? Somebody has to be called to order. And it has to be investigated to know actually. It's not today. We have not had this issue before. I know in our own time, the examination could even extend to 4 6. Even the last receipt exam, my daughter wrote her own around 6 o'clock. Examination that was supposed to, my granddaughter, examination that was supposed to last from 2 to 4. They didn't start till 6 o'clock.
Till 6.
So I think
so it's more like it's an ongoing thing.
And they are making a lot of money. Having said that, we now come to talk about our educational system.
I was going to go there.
How far have we gone? This corruption has eaten deep in every corner of our sector. This corruption, until we kill corruption will take over this country. But then, you see the minister, I'm not sure the minister has been queried. The minister has not been called to order. The principal has not been called to order. WAEC themselves have not been called to order. So what has happened? Maybe after this show, some of them are listening to us, watching us. After this, they will call them and say, look at what Mazi said, that you need to be called to order. Come and answer some questions.
Okay. All right. Chris, what do you think? Do you think apology is enough for making children write exams late at night? Do you think that's enough, or there should be more?
At this point, I would think the apology is an insult. Now, okay, fine. I can identify with the ill that happened here. My second son is sitting for the ongoing WAEC. All right. I think he'll be taking mathematics today. And then I sat for this same exam, 93. And then it has been the same story. Now, of course, like Mazi said, it's just the link of the question paper that got linked. And they saw that got linked. They needed to cover up for it. So they needed to just come up with some others and all of that. And it is simply because there's a trade within. There's a patronage of corruption, okay, of trade within. There are schools owners that pressure insiders within WAEC to leak questions to them so that their students can pass. You understand? Because the truth is, when I see, isn't the same WAEC we wrote back then, okay, that you will study in my own days, you will cover syllabus like 3 times over, yet you will struggle with your C4, and then with A3 and all of that. By the time you get C6, you'll be crying, I let my people go. I see people, young people of these days that probably can't differentiate their left from right, and they have A parallel, they have A1, B2, whatever, and I'm like, what's happening? Is it that WAEC lower their standard? But of course, yeah, we know it's a miracle center. So what happened is this: the school owners mount pressure on the insider within WAEC structure to leak questions, really, and they are willing to pay for it. And because corruption is in our DNA, all right. So the trade is ensued. All right, the people were also get their leaders look into it, and then it escalates. So at some point, maybe they felt okay, it was too porous. They wanted to make it, and then you punish the students because these are young people. The examination in zone comes with tension. Tension. That's why exam is not the best platform to measure student intelligence because some just have that exam tension. Whatever. So when they come to examination, they are not at their best. Now you now subject them. In abroad, this will not happen. The institution will be sued because you make students wait for that. They're already drained. They even feel exhausted having to wait for the exam. The anxiety is high. Now, how are they supposed to be at their best performance at that time? Yeah, true. And under such circumstance, so they are likely going to fail the exam because you had issues. All right, so you're going to waste their time for about another 1 year when you could have done the inconvenience to yourself by rescheduling the exam. Yeah. And then you're apologizing. No, you see, the problem we have here is we just dish nonsense on people and we think we can get away with it because we're in authority. It is wrong. People take authority, take advantage of being authority and just pile a whole lot. And it's because you know, often I say this, if we have a very vibrant judicial system where access to the court is not monstrous, it's not so horrible, people will be very careful what they do. Because if other people will sue them for this and they will pay through their nose, they'll be more careful. So you can't subject students to write WAEC under such situation. They are tensed, they are exhausted. At the end of the day, many of them will fail, and then you will call it what? What will your apology do to them? What will apology do to them? So I think basically it's because there's actually no penalty for wrongdoing. They treat all this, it's corruption. It's corruption. Logical failure is corruption. And now they're trying to scale it up. They want to murder students now by introducing CBT to them. Now, that's what they're arguing now. They want to from next year, they're saying a CBT for work and all of that. Not started it now. Yeah. That will just, logistic problem will come up again and all of that. You see, we should, I appreciate the IT world. I appreciate us trying to meet up with the rest of the world. But we are not ready for it. That's why I even laugh. I don't want to say it in that ugly manner. I even laugh when they call our election to go electronic. I just laugh. We're not ready for it. We're not. We're not just ready for it. So why do we deceive ourselves? We're not just ready for it. Yeah. But it's good we try playing it up and then see what we can do. But we are not just ready.
Not that, yeah, I agree with you that we are not ready. But on the other hand, we are ready. Only that we don't have political will to make it work.
It's part of the readiness.
And again, nobody has been punished. Nobody has been held responsible. Nobody has been imprisoned. I did say here when the jump issue came up, I said, this issue, the private schools, with due respect, how many children repeat their classes? They don't repeat. Because if you fail a child in private school, the parents will withdraw such child to another school. And that was what happens. And when I come, I say it with every sense of responsibility. Because I know what is happening. My children all graduated from public schools, except my granddaughter, and I have seen a lot. This WAEC, go around. You are a journalist. Go around and know what is happening. That I discussed with somebody, with your colleagues here sometimes. When I mention the amount they asked me to bring for my daughter, my granddaughter said no. He said her own now is 1,020 naira, 1,200 naira. 200 naira for the gate men, 1,000 naira. You mentioned the collaboration with it. So that is that. Even in the East, some of these mushroom schools, they now found a place where at the end of it, during the week, they will not take them
to
to
that
a
center.
place
Yeah.
in a very small room, and they compromise the system. And at the end of it, you see your child, you'll be jubilating, my child cleared everything. Call the child to read 1, 2, 3. I'm just telling you. Examination is not the best test of knowledge.
Yes,
Of course,
it's not.
we all know
these
that.
children, are they qualified? Mentally, they are not. Because some of these things they don't read. Even those in private school, they don't. Like I said the other time, the government schools, with due respect, they teach according to the syllabus. But the private schools teach to pass the examination, which means it doesn't have any root in them. They cram and to pass the examination. But when you call them to give an assignment, behold.
Sorry, during the COVID, something happened that disrupted the academic system. Now, what I did with my two youngest son, okay, I actually have 4 boys. All right, me alone. Okay, my third son should have been in SS1 now. He's sitting with junior WAEC. My youngest son should be in JSS1 now, but he's still going to common entrance because during that COVID, the system was disrupted, and everybody were promoting their child, whatever. But I felt that they could have gone through that way too, but they won't be grounded enough. So I make them, go through that process all over again, and then so that they can more or less could it be like repeating a class? It was tough. It was a very, very difficult decision. It was a very, very difficult because they would not be like a class behind. Yeah, it was very, very, very tough. But I thought that look, they need to be rooted enough, strong enough for every class they are in, without being in a hurry. But most parents are guilty of that. They want to push them up. At the end of the day, they are shallow, and then they don't get the best out of the students.
Wow. I don't know why you have a question.
It's still on the education section. Okay, so we have talked about corruption that is eating in deep into the education sector.
Not only education, all over.
I know,
over,
but we're
actually.
talking about the education sector right now. Apart from corruption, what else do you think is disrupting the education sector? Because really, they have failed, if you ask me. What happened to the A-levels? We used to have the A-levels thing then, after secondary school, because you're not prepared mentally to get into the university. You go through the A-levels. What happened to all that?
Not only you are not prepared, if you are waiting if you want to get admission.
Yeah, you're waiting.
Directly,
waiting through.
And you want to go through your distance. I think what has happened, I don't think that you have the right people manage our education system. I remember I had one minister, former minister of education, who said that he never knew anything about education. But when he got there, when he was appointed, it took some time for him to be put through with the permanent secretaries and things like that. If you have people who are not qualified to be the head of affairs, this is what you have. Remember the time of Fafunwa?
I was going to say
Fafunwa. He introduced, I think, 334.
No, 6334.
That's right. And now, like what you said, there's no point rushing a child. There's no point rushing a child. A child has to grow from 1, 2, 3 up to the time he or she will enter into either primary or whatever. In our own time, you must be 9 years before you enter. And you talk about, in our own time, there was no credit, all pass, 1975. All pass, if you don't pass. So, and yes, pass, 1975, when I wrote my WAEC. Wow. And it was tough. And there was not,
what was the score for a pass? What was the score?
No, if you pass.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand me? So now, today, parents, I am hammering about parents. Parents, if you don't allow your children to have a solid foundation, the Bible says when the foundation is destroyed, what will the righteous do? If you don't give your children solid foundation, allow them study, The Bible says, study to show yourself approved. A
Approved.
workman who needed not to be ashamed, rightly so that when you are asked, give a child ordinary algebra, give a child ordinary elementary biology, ordinary economics or commerce, they will fail it. So because the foundation has not been strong and not been solid, so parents should be able to understand the importance of proper foundation.
All right, thank you very much for that one. We have to wrap up the show because our time is already fast spent.
Wow.
Well, let's just read some messages from our viewers. This one say, why should it be now that he defected? Okay, why should it be now that he defected to APC? I now believe that our politicians have a hand in banditry. This is Raymond. Okay, another one says, okay, it's quite a long read. Afternoon crew, you can see what happened last week where they were doing WAEC at night. I have never seen that type of thing in my life. Also, you saw how JAM transpired. You can see that this government doesn't value education. Many professionals have left the country, including teachers. Now that the government has increased school fees, which many parents cannot afford, many children are at home. This government is giving student loan, which is a low-grade minor dear. Nigeria has the highest out-of-school children in the world, and they prefer to breed Agbiros for election gain. Also, look at the low-grade minds that are used as educational ministers from 8 wasted years of Adamu, who doesn't know anything about education, Tahid, and now Tijani. Look at mass failure of JAMB and WAEC. Also, look at the budget for education, unlike their frivolities. It's a shame the worst of us is really the best of us, truly. There was a country. Anyway, we're going to wrap that one. This is from Dayo. We'll wrap up the program with that. Obviously, tomorrow we'll continue with the rest of the topic because we can't take everything. We just touched only one topic, actually. I just decided to put the WAEC because it's trending, and I think it's something that I want to hear from our guests. Anyway, thank you so much, Mazi, for being in the show. Thank you so much, as usual. Always good analysis, and of course talking to the government so that the government can actually hear the voice of the people. Thank you also, Chris, for